American panel. He is a nationally syndicated radio talk show host on the Salem Radio Network, a partner at the law firm Hewitt Walensky. Hugh Hewitt is back. She is uh-oh, hang on. We got a mic here somewhere. Here it is. All right, she is a professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University and the author of Be the People. Political analyst Carol Swain is with us, and he was the former mayor of the great city of Providence, Rhode Island, the one and only Buddy Cianci. He hosts his own radio program, The Buddy Cianci Show, and is also the author of Politics and Pasta, Vincent Buddy Cianci. I forgot I took off my mic for a second. I was fixing my tie. Sorry. All right. Let me start with this new video came in. I want to warn everybody at home. Very, very graphic. We saw a video of Muammar Qaddafi getting, just before he got killed. This is right after he got captured. Now, if you get queasy when you see a lot of blood, don't watch this, but this is immediately after he was captured. And you're going to see some very graphic images here. And, as I watch this, and we'll keep playing it, what's your reaction, Bud?
Well, my reaction is that is the result of tremendous number of years of oppression, of tremendous violence, of killing people, of being the kind of a person who would bring about this kind of reaction.
That's a good point, Carol.
I don't think anything justifies the brutality towards another human being, no matter what he did. And to me, it shows that these people are not ready for democracy.
Well, in other words, what are you seeing there?
I'm seeing people that are uncivilized, that would treat another human being as an animal.
We're supposed to expect that the rebels that are now going to be in charge, look, I just hate to see this. I mean, it just, as he is an evil man. He is a murderer. He's killed Americans. I want him dead. I want him out. Is it, Hugh, that war is ugly?
Yeah, it is, and in that part of the world, the tribal passions and the rage builds up. That's why Iraq was so brutal after 2003, sectarian and terrible tribal violence. It's why, having put it together, it's such a bad thing that we're leaving today, that the president comes out and retreats. But that's what's going on in the Middle East everywhere.
Well, that was nothing but emotion, and Carol brings up the most important point. Are they really ready for democracy? What happened, but let's be concerned about what's going to happen in the future.
Same with the Muslim Brotherhood and what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Go ahead, Carol.
They're also killing people that were seen as supporters of Qaddafi, the black African immigrants that were brought to the country. That's not getting enough media attention. So, I mean...
but this bothered me during the Arab Spring, is that I kept saying... somebody wrote a column attacking me, saying I was Muslim Brotherhood obsessed. Well, it turned out that the media that was telling us this is a democracy movement, celebrate, same media where Lara Logan, was raped and beaten to an inch of her life, and other journalists were getting punched in the face. Our media is telling us this is democracy.
Yeah, I was in Israel this summer, Sean, when the Egyptians allowed the Hamas terrorists to exit through the Sinai, come in and kill a bunch of travelers to the Red Sea, and then unleash the rockets. It is a very unstable situation. You are exactly right to warn, and Pamela is exactly right to warn. We don't know which way this is going, and I don't think this administration has any clue how to do this.
What's going to happen with all the missiles and all the different weapons that they have that are unaccounted for?
30,000 surface-to-air missiles.
That's what scares me, because you have people like that acting the way they're acting. Imagine what they can do with a little horsepower, a little gunpower.
Well, I mean, if those weapons end up in the hand of a terrorist organization, I mean, I brought this up with Colonel North last night. I pray to God I'm wrong, but if they make it across the border, wouldn't be that hard to do now, would it, Hugh?
No.
All right, they make it across the border. Wouldn't they plan an attack in however many cities they get these weapons in, and you'll wake up and simultaneously how many jetliners will be ripped out of the sky? Targets?
Targets.
Not targets. They'll be shot down.
Yeah.
Well, President Obama is threatening other dictators, and I find it very problematic that he's engaging us in conflicts without getting congressional approval.
It's interesting. I'm against the War Powers Act, as every president has been, including Obama. In one area we agree on. But the difference between him and these other presidents is he's claiming, well, this is a NATO operation. Well, we're 65% of NATO.
I know.
Paying for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, who's he trying to
perfected leading from behind, and he's trying very hard to disguise retreat as a victory for his campaign program. We're in big trouble, and I hope foreign policy moves to the center of the presidential campaign soon, because we have to talk about the fact we have an appeaser-in-chief who is absolutely bringing a period of ruin into the Middle East.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We have another scandal. Guess what? Your tax dollars funding a really great car Leonardo DiCaprio loves it. Al Gore loves it. It's just not built in America. Time to check in with Greta. Sneak peek. What's coming up in 19 short minutes?
You know what? We're also going to talk about that. I got another.
And we continue now with our great American panel. All right, so first we have Solyndra, $535 million. Then we've got SunPower, $1.2 billion. Now we've got the Department of Energy. They're standing by this, by the way. $529 million loan guarantee to a company building an electric car in Finland. Here it is. Beautiful car. Created a lot of jobs in Finland. And by the way, there's Learjet limousine liberal Leonardo DiCaprio. Apparently he's a big fan of this car. And I'm thinking, you know, how many more of these instances of wasted millions and billions are we going to hear about?
Well, let's just be thankful and glad that Biden and Obama didn't give the loan application approval for the Iran nuclear weapon factory. I mean, what else?
Well, we don't know
can
yet.
You say?
I mean,
yeah.
You know, there's time.
What can you possibly say about $500 million, whatever it was, going to another country? I thought we were trying to save the American automobile industry. Now we have jobs being created in Finland, of all places. Now, in fairness to the company, they say, well, none of the loan guarantee money is being used to create the jobs in Finland, but I don't believe that. I believe that they would not be able to get where they got if it weren't for our money. And it's just awful. And this is what breeds the Occupy Wall Street movement, and this is what breeds all this other stuff.
Crony capitalism.
Crony capitalism and Obama.
I call it crony socialism, but go ahead.
Well, what really bothers me is that given the unemployment situation in the U.S. and the Democrats are criticizing the Republicans for blocking the president's jobs bill, in the meantime, the president is doing everything that he can in many ways to undermine jobs. I'm not enthusiastic about the trade bill he just signed. I think it could be like NAFTA and even more U.S. jobs go overseas.
You're probably right. You?
Mr. Fisker did us a favor. He leaned into this story. He's the guy who owns this company. He said, I can't afford to build it in California. Can't build anything in California because of regulations, because of taxes. So the only good part of this story is that if we want to bring manufacturing back, we have to get rid of people who don't understand that the EPA and state and local agencies are killing the ability to make a car in the United States.
All right. You know, we went through World War II. We were able to mobilize our economy and build things like you never believed. And I just can't believe it. I live in a state that's the smallest state in the union, and I'll bet you we could have found a place they could have built that car.
Listen, there used to be a lot of manufacturing in Rhode Island. All right, let me ask Carol a question. You have a situation in Vanderbilt.
Yes.
It's sort of like become Vanderbilt versus the Christians. Now Congress has gotten involved. A number of congressmen have written a letter.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on there.
Well, one thing, Vanderbilt is a private school, so there's a feeling that they can do what they want to do, but they have a new policy that student organizations cannot require that their leaders share their beliefs. And in a correspondence with one of the leaders, he was told that Christian groups could not ask their leaders to lead Bible studies or worship services. That's something that we only do. And the university even changed a policy that protected religious groups. They removed the protections. So we're hoping that they will restore religious liberty at Vanderbilt.
What do you think, you?
Well, our friends at the Alliance Defense Fund will always defend religious liberty like Carol is doing, and they go out and they grab these stories. And she's right, it's a private university. We don't want to federalize everything. But I do think the alumni of Vanderbilt, a great institution with a great history of religious tolerance, have got to call up their chancellor, like these 24 congressmen called up the chancellor and said, what are you thinking? This is crazy.
How can you possibly enforce something like that?
Well,
you could have the head of the Ku Klux Klan become head of the Black Caucus or the Black organization at Vanderbilt. I mean, that's the way it figures out. It should.
Good for you for standing up, honestly.
Well,
and
thank you.
Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Thank you.
And I hear you're running for mayor.
No, please don't say that. I'm not running. It's not even an election.
When we come back, Franklin Graham is here to talk about his father and his latest book and much more. Coming up next.